So, this morning I was yet again unsuccessful in booking a job that was offered to me. It was for a radio commercial that would play in the United Arab Emirates, not the poorest country in the world, and they needed someone with a Dutch accent. Notice that I didn't say I lost a job, because you can't lose something that was never yours in the first place. I mean, you wouldn't say I lost my boyfriend or girlfriend if you never made a promise to go steady. At the same token, you can't lose a gift that was never given to you. So stop saying I lost that job or I lost that audition when you don't get booked. Anyway, the person approaching me for this radio commercial wanted to know my rate without providing any details. That's like playing darts in the dark. How can you aim properly if you don't know where the dartboard is, let alone the bullseye? But you know what? Not giving any details is a way to see if you can give them a lowball number. I've been around the block a few times, so I'm not falling for these cheap tricks. I wrote back, as you know, rates for radio commercials are in part determined by the market, regional, national, international, and are influenced by how long they will play, like 3 months, 6 months, a year. In general, I tend to stick to the GVAA rate scale, and if that's something you're not familiar with, I will happily send you a link. After a while, this guy gets back to me and says it's for 6 months playing on radio in the United Arab Emirates. According to the GVAA, it would be somewhere between $800 and $950. He offered, are you ready? $200. $200! According to one source, the average salary in Dubai is around $6,000 a month. The United Arab Emirates is ranked 7th in the world in terms of per capita national income. But of course, you should never price your job based on the country your client operates in, but on how much you need to make where you live and pay taxes. I'm just saying that the Emirates is not a low-wage region, which might have explained the $200 they were offering. So I gracefully declined. Now, instead of thanking the client for wasting my time, which I felt like doing, I did send him the name and contact info of a Dutch colleague who works for less because he's not as experienced as I am. That colleague can do his own negotiations and maybe he can get to a number he is happy with. This does two things. One, it creates some goodwill with the client because I'm helping him find a cheaper talent. Making a good impression has never hurt my business. Two, I'm helping a colleague who's trying to build a portfolio and make connections. I remember, and this was in the very beginning of my career, some 30, 40 years ago, I did a commercial for a very low fee, but I used that job to book other commercials at much higher rates because I had something to show for clients heard I could handle a job like that. So this low budget job led to many high paying jobs. Now here's my advice for you today. We all want negotiations to end in our favor, but we don't control the client. If you feel your offer was fair and it wasn't accepted, walk away. Cheap clients are the hardest to please and you don't want to contribute to the erosion of rates. But this client may come back at another time with a more reasonable offer. These things happen, so you don't want to burn your bridges. Leave on a positive note by being helpful. Last impressions usually linger.